All right, trumpet players, we're going to go over oiling our valves today. So sometimes if you're playing and you notice that your valves start to get really sticky or if they're stuck down or really slow coming back up again, just usually means that you need to add some valve oil onto your valves, and that's going to grease them up so that they're going to come back up again as soon as you press them down. You always want your valves to be super loose and easy to move. If they start getting a little bit stiff, then it's time to put some valve oil on. That'll happen every once in a while, not something that you should have to do every day. Little tip as well, the more often you play your trumpet, the less you're going to have to put valve oil on. The more you play it, you're going to keep the oil inside moving around. You're going to keep everything greased up and free moving. If you let your trumpet sit for a really long time without playing it, that valve oil is going to kind of evaporate off, and you're going to have to add some more because your valves are going to be super hard to press down or they might stick. So the more you play your trumpet, the less valve oil you're going to have to use. Little trick, tool of the trade. Okay, so when you take your valves out to oil them, you actually undo the valve cap. That's the part that connects right to your trumpet. So the part that connects your valve to your trumpet, that's the part that you undo. So you unscrew that. You always want to do one at a time. You never want to take them all out because then you have to really make sure that you're putting them back into the right spots. Each valve is specific for that certain spot on your trumpet. So just do one at a time. I'm going to take out valve number 3 just to show you as a demo. But you're going to take your valve all the way out of the valve casing that it sits inside. You're going to undo the cap and then kind of grab it by the top, and you're going to pull it straight out. You're going to put your trumpet somewhere safe so it's not going to fall while you're oiling your valve. And then you're going to take some valve oil. Something I've also realized over the years is synthetic valve oil actually lasts a lot longer. It's not going to be as quick to evaporate off of your valves, and it's actually going to work better on your instrument as well. It's not going to gunk it up as much as just regular valve oil is. So if you have the chance to get synthetic valve oil, definitely buy yourself a bottle. That's going to last you a long time, and it's going to be super good for your instrument. So when you're oiling your valve, you're going to hold it sideways, just away from you so you don't get oil on your pants. I can just hold it over the floor or the garbage can, that's fine. You're going to hold your valve sideways and then just put some oil all the way down that bottom portion of your valve where the holes are. Not in the holes, you want it all along that surface of your valve. Okay, use quite a bit. You don't have to be stingy with it. And give it a little shake to get rid of the drips. Then you're going to take a look on your valve and find where the number is. This one has the number 3 stamped into that top portion of my valve. So I know that when I put it back, it's valve number 3. And when I put my valve into my trumpet, I'm going to make sure that that number that's stamped in my valve is actually facing towards my mouthpiece. So I'm going to make sure that the number 3 is facing towards my mouthpiece in that direction. I'm going to drop it straight down, tighten up the cap so that it's tight, so it's not loose. And then I'm going to wiggle my valve up and down a few times, and that's going to spread all that oil around inside so that it comes up again when I press it down. Now, if I was going to go and play and something sounds funny or my trumpet isn't working properly when I push that valve down, even though I just oiled it, just means something got turned around in there when you were putting your valve back in. So one trick that I always do is after I put my valve back, I always give the top a little wiggle, kind of just gently wiggle it back and forth. And it should be kind of like locked into place. It shouldn't turn either direction. Just kind of gently give the tops a little bit of a wiggle. And that means that your valves are all locked into place so that they're going to be in the right spot for when you go to play your trumpet and change your notes. If for some reason my valve got turned around, and I'm going to do that on purpose so you can kind of hear what happens, then I might put it in and yeah, it's working fine, but then when I go to play it, it doesn't sound right. If I give the tops a wiggle, you can actually hear that little click. So as I turn it, I'm going to keep turning it till it clicks. That means that it's locked into place. So even if it's not lined up when I put it in, or if it gets turned around a little bit, give the top a wiggle, just gentle wiggle back and forth. Make sure that your valves are all locked into place. Also make sure that the number on your valve matches the number of your valve casings on your trumpet. So when we put our fingers on top to play, this is finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, and that goes along with our valve. So this is valve 1, valve 2, and then valve 3 is the closest one to your hook. So always make sure that the number on your valve matches up with where your valve needs to go on your trumpet. Okay? If you have any problems, bring your instrument to me and I can help you out. But other than that, good luck oiling your valves.